And here is the woman herself to tell us more about her new series that shines a light on women in science. It's writer and broadcaster Dee Gilhooly.
Just to clarify, by the way, some viewers may mistakenly think that your second name is Hooley and your first name is Deagle. In actual fact, your second name is Gilhooly, your first name is Dee. That's a full name, not an initial.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Wicked to be here.
Cool.
So you're perhaps best known as one of the regulars on Radio 4's Woman's Hour.
Which, by the way, guys, well worth a listen.
Oh, I wouldn't have had you down as a fan, Alan.
Well, it's a curious story. I was actually stuck in traffic and Classic FM were playing music from an advert which I dislike. So I found myself listening to Woman's Hour and I thought, this is actually good.
Tell your friends.
I did. I told 10 men and they will tell 10 men and they will tell 10 men to tell 10 men to tell 10 men. It sounds like the kind of song you'd sing on a coach trip, but it's actually true.
Now, your radio series focuses on trailblazers and groundbreakers in the field of science.
Bang on, yeah. It's a chance for some brilliant, lesser-known women to have their stories told, you know what I mean? So, with all due respect to your Ada Lovelaces or Rosalind Franklins, we're going to be looking at women under the bonnet, as it were, the fuel in the turbocharger.
Because there's some fascinating women here. We're talking Vera Rubin, Nettie Stevens, Cecilia Payne. I mean, brilliant women.
Oh, kick-ass women. Yeah, Cecilia Payne's actually is an amazing story. A British astronomer, got her doctorate at 25, boom. And she wrote a paper on the composition of the stars, but was persuaded not to publish it by her colleague Henry Norris Russell. Years later, her findings were published and credited to, you've guessed it,
Henry Norris Russell?
Bingo. You still with us, Alan?
Yeah. See, I'm sorry to... Actually, it makes me physically sick to say this, but I was miles away. Which shows this is a real problem within men, isn't it? What I will say, the purposes of clarification, is you don't put fuel in a turbocharger. It's a small turbine housed within the exhaust that utilises excess gases, loops them back round, increases power output. So small capacity engine, big hike in power, very efficient. That was told to me by an engineer in oily overalls called Karen. Woman.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Well, because women in jobs like that have to put up with their fair share of jeering, you know, even now in 2018, and they just have to accept it.
If I can just speak as a male, I'm sorry, I have sinned. I've stood on the pavement with other men and slow hand clapped as I watched a woman try to parallel park. And that's wrong. And I think if I saw the same thing happen today, I would just, shout out instructions.
Or just leave her alone.
Yeah, I'd shout out instructions or just leave her alone. I'd ask her which she prefers.
Or just leave her alone.
Or just leave her alone. Yeah.
These issues need to be aired by women. We're still seeing powerful men harassing women when all they want to do is do their jobs and be left alone.
Amen.
Hey, women. I mean, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I wouldn't do that unless I was your doctor or your boyfriend. But I totally identify with what you're saying.
Well, I think the Me Too's a woman thing,
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
isn't it? I mean, I'm not sure it's that helpful for a man to presume to know what that's like, to be honest, but anyway.
Of course it is.
Yes.
If men actually listened to what women were saying on harassment, then they'd shut up and listen, but they don't. So we're still seeing the same things time...
I've been sexually harassed.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware.
It's not quite the same thing that women have been through, but it is a bit. Hilary Couchman, Dr. Hilary Couchman. How long have humans been swearing?
Well, curse words or vulgarities go back really as far as language itself, but when it comes to written English, we find profanities cropping up from the 13th century.
So, something like this, should I wear gloves to handle
The
this?
protocol is that the curator handles the material.
Oh, okay, right. I'm pretty sure I've seen Dr. David Starkey handling stuff like this on TV. And I've even seen them let Tony Robinson have a fiddle.
The protocol is the curator handles the material.
You said that. Do they ever let you guys go to an area just to relax? Because they should do. Maybe that should be part of the protocol. Swearing, swear words.
One of the more prominent words is the word f***, but cunt too is also common across the Germanic and Scandinavian languages.
Yeah.
We also find uses of piss,
Well,
shit,
what areas would these profanities emanate from? I'm thinking Manchester, Liverpool.
no, from across the whole country.
Okay.
Now what we have here are parish records from Drayton in Shropshire.
When would that be?
1295.
That's what these trousers cost.
So what these documents show is how the earliest instances of swear words were typically found in the names of places or people. So surnames often describe what someone was or did.
Right.
Here we have a listing for Henry F***a-beggar.
Goodness me.
Now back then, the word f*** didn't have its current meaning.
Okay.
It actually referred to hitting or striking.
Right, good. Well, hence the phrase, let's hire some Albanians to f*** him up.
So there are terms that have fallen out of use. So here in 1740, we have the term Runtalian, which means
musical
one whose
word.
scrotum is so relaxed as to be longer than his penis.
One wonders whether that's due to a truncated member or distended testes.
Well, I guess it's just chicken and egg. We also find some fairly vulgar slang words for penis, such as beard splitter and arse opener, whilst fellatio was known as bagpiping.
Oh, makes sense.
In the 1785 book, the Classical Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue, we find the term to huffle. Would you like to have a guess at what that means?
Oh, gosh, I'll have a bash. To huffle, the act of putting my head between a lady's breasts and huffling. That's, you get the picture.
No, it's another word to fellate.
Right, okay.
I always find it amusing when I ask people that question, what answer I'll get.
Right, well, that's an interesting part of the protocol. Thank you very much, Dr. Hilary Mantell.
Couchman.
One who likes to squat over another.
It's my surname.
Right, yes, of course.